some good movies, well, hopefully good movies, and that is the Marvel Universe. Kevin Feige recently sat down with IGN at a pre-press conference junket, I would imagine, because Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out next week, August 1st, and he kind of gave a little bit of details on how they're planning on making the Marvel Universe, cinematic universe at least, work over the next couple of years in their Phase 3 and probably on to Phase 4. And what I found interesting about this is now they have 7 untitled releases between now and 2019. 3 of those, they do have 3 titled releases, which is going to be Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. Then after that, you have Ant-Man, and then in 2016, you're supposed to have Captain America 3. Now, what Kevin Feige added to this little formula is that they're possibly going to do this in a way where they have 1 sequel a year and 1 new character a year. So, like next year, you have Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, and then you have the Ant-Man. So they're going to start releasing more and more and more characters to go with this. And now he said this is kind of because if you look at the early comics of the Avengers, especially the comics, they are known for changing the roster all the time. I mean, you could pick up a comic, Avengers comic in the 60s, and then pick up an Avengers comic in the 70s and not recognize almost any of the same characters because they were just a rotating cast of heroes. And I kind of think this is pretty cool because this kind of expands out the universe, which is what we've all wanted to see from these universes.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty cool to me for a lot of reasons. One, it's giving us an idea of what to expect. Like, there's not just rumor mill of this is when the next big movie's coming out. He's laying it down. It's kind of like what a lot of the video game industry for the bigger games have gotten to. Mm-hmm. You have a yearly release of the big series, right? But maybe you have different groups working on different stuff. So you'll have people working on the mainline sequel, someone working on the new property. I guess Marvel Studios must be getting huge. Well,
Marvel Studios, when it got absorbed by Disney, I mean that's
true.
They got all of Disney's resources, and so that just ballooned them out. I mean, Disney has their hand in like everything, so that definitely didn't hurt them.
But it's still these movies are still being handled under the Marvel studio, right? At least I hope they are.
Well, except for like Ant-Man, we heard about Disney kind of meddling in Ant-Man, so who knows really what they're doing. Now Disney, I think it would be smarter for them if they're in the business of making money. So if you want to make a lot of money, let these creative people that have already made a lot of money on it keep being creative. So I mean, like, they were smart. They brought in Joss Whedon to do the Avengers. I think that was a great move. And if you saw that one grossed over $1 billion in the box office. So, ching, that one worked.
Yeah, but Disney might have some other motivations. Like, I think Disney's really big in getting like all those external, like merchandising, all that merchandising money.
Oh, so the toys and
probably,
stuff.
Yeah, so they probably do in post or whatever they do. They probably push things to make sure that they can secure that merchandising. I don't know, but whatever. We'll see what happens. But that's also a good point. This is happening. It's cool to know what to expect, but it is kind of a rigid schedule that we're now seeing. And I guess the question is also going to be what's going to be the quality of it. When you don't have that set schedule, when you can push things back, when you're just making movies on a looser plan and seeing where things are ready, then hopefully it's worked out well. I mean, they haven't been...
I mean, the Marvel Universe... I'm trying to think of one of the bad movies out of the Marvel Universe recently, and I can't really think of anything. I mean, it's been pretty solid, especially...
There's been a few mediocre ones, but not bad.
The first Thor was kind of mediocre. The second Thor was better, though, I thought. It had a lot more Thorness to it, I guess, is the word. Yeah. But I mean, the Avengers was awesome. I thought it was good all the way through. But I mean, they do have
the movie was like, it was okay.
Well, I don't think that was that a Disney? Yeah, that was definitely a Marvel one. That's true.
Yeah, that was just Marvel.
With Edward Norton. I thought the Edward Norton version was way better than the one with Eric Bana, which was horrible. So that improved. But what are we going to see from these 7 untitled ones? I mean, how many? Of course, half of them are going to be sequels, obviously, but half of them are going to be new characters to see. Like, what are some of these new characters we're going to see? I think we might see, after Ant-Man, probably a Black Widow movie. Scarlett Johansson has been saying that she thinks Black Widow should get her own standalone movie. I think that'd be a cool
I mean, of
character
course
to
she's
watch.
going to say that, but I
Well,
don't
she
know.
wants her money, but
I don't know if
is
that's
that
going to.
false? I think she's done a good job with that character.
That weird territory. Like Marvel has the ability to use Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but remember those are the characters that they're sharing with who is it? Fox on that or Sony with the
Yeah,
X-Men franchise?
Fox with the X-Men franchise. So, but yeah, I mean that'd be cool though to see like a team-up movie. I don't know how you do that. You'd have to root them somewhere else because in the comics they are Magneto's kids. So, who knows how they're going to quite do that? But that would be a pretty cool team-up movie because Quicksilver will be in the new one. I don't know if Scarlet Witch is going to be or she. I know she's been rumored to be in the new one, but I'm not 100% sure on that if she's going to be in that one.
To be honest, I mean, as we've said before, Marvel has a lot of characters to go through. They're not struggling for characters to look for.
No.
Minor characters, even big characters.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, the Avengers switched out so often. That's just the Avengers, and they have so many other comics around that haven't been tapped, and they're willing to go into the ones that are a little less known. Like Ant-Man's not a hugely known.
But he was a big
hero.
part of the Avengers for a while, so that's kind of why I think they're rolling him in there. And we'll probably see Wasp in there somewhere, because those two are kind of linked together at the hip, usually with most of the comics. So we'll see that. I'd be interested in
Blade back yet?
Blade? I don't think they got Blade back. I think that's still. I'm not sure who that's with. I think that might be 20th Century Fox. So I don't know if they'll get that back.
It's been a while since there's been a Blade movie. So.
And
I'm thinking.
And that third Blade movie was kind of disappointing. So
yeah, that's why I'm kind of thinking maybe that was abandoned, or maybe sometime in that 7-year span anyway. It should be, if they don't make another Blade movie, it'll be freed up. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see a Blade movie by Marvel anyway, or Blade teaming up in some of these movies.
And one of the titles that we know will be one of these 7 untitled movies, due to be released before 2019, will be Doctor Strange. And another cool thing Kevin Feige was talking about that is there is a possibility that 1 or 2 of these movies might be in their own standalone universes. So it won't be kind of the crossover tie-in. They might just give them their own universe to play with. And Doctor Strange, since he's more of the mystical part of the superhumans, that would be interesting.
So that gets us back to a little term that I was coining up, and I'm surprised no one's using it. We're going to soon see the Marvel movie multiverse.
There you go. The Marvel movie multiverse. Because wait, no, was it them that had the multiverse, or was that DC?
They both had multiverses. And you're just talking about having their own, like, people with their own universes, multiple universes in Marvel that they're going to be showing in movies now. So there you go. Sounds like that sounds like a multiverse to me.
That'll be pretty interesting. But what are some of the characters you'd like to see in some of the next Marvel movies? Do you think this is a good idea? Too many sequels, planning too much far in advance is not always the best thing for movies, but I don't know. Let us know what you think. Hit us up, comments down below. Of course, at Words for My Face on Twitter, Words for My Face at Google, gmail.com, Google Plus, of course, and Facebook. Let us know what you think. And we'd like to see some other characters because, like we mentioned, there's like the Hulk. He might get a reboot, Hawkeye, all them. But
there's a bunch of other major other characters that aren't necessarily heroes that haven't showed up. Like we haven't seen anything with Beyonder yet, I don't think, right?
Mm-hmm. So tell us who we're missing. Let us know. I'd love to hear some of your guesses on who the new untitled films will be. So yeah. But let's move it on.